The same thing happened when Bhagavan is here. The Shankaracharya of Puri came. He was a big person himself. He was one of the four pontiffs, very well regarded. So when the Shankaracharya of Puri came, he was himself a person who had qualified himself in 7 MA. He was an expert in math. He had written a book called the Vedic Mathematics, where including calculus, he could solve in one line by the use of Vedic aphorism. Just one line of aphorism, he can solve it. So like that, he has written a book called Vedic Mathematics, which is very much available. It's one of the best. Such a person came here to see Bhagavan. Then all his Shishas brought that silver Sivaratri, that what you would call throne, the silver throne on which he was to sit. He just told him, "Can take it away?" And then he just spread a towel and he sat before Bhagavan. And that's why those Jivanudas are called the Guru Ram. There was one Vasishta Brahmananda who was in Tamil Nadu in a place called Nerur, where his samadhi is even now, it is supposed to be alive with vibration. It is a very, very small village where there are barely some 5 or 6 houses which are inhabited. But that ashram is still alive with all the vibrations. There is a place of Vasishta Brahmananda. He never wore anything, not even a loincloth. He was always going, he was always lost in the bliss. He was always lost in the bliss. He was going, he never knew what happened to where. He used to walk. One day, he just went into the harem of, say, a king, the Muslim ruler. He had come and camped in a place along with his wives and all that, several wives. And he was inside with his wives and he never bothered. He just entered, he was going through the tent inside. When the king saw him interfering and coming inside, he said, trespass in the emperor's compound. So he immediately took his sword and cut off his hand here. The hand fell down. He was unaware. He was just walking in his own bliss. That's all. He never knew anything. What has happened? People used to ask him. He will never answer. He used to be in samadhi for hundreds of years. And that was Swami Brahmananda. He was very well known. He had written a number of important books. He was a very good musician. He could sing very well. He has written a beautiful book of music containing several songs on Lord. So like that, that is the state of the Jivanmukta. The Jivanmukta is very much in his body. The body-mind complex is with him. Upadhisto pitadharmaihi alipto vyamavanmuni. Upadhistopi tadharmaihi aliptaha. Upadhistaha. Upadhi means the external adjuncts, the limiting adjuncts, like the body, the mind, the intellect. So even though he is very much established in the body, he is in the body, so Jivanmukta doesn't lose his body. He is very much in the body. So naturally we would think that he would be tainted by the characters of the body. The characters of the body are, the body says, I am in pain, I am in happiness, I am old, I am young. Absolutely nothing of them. So none of the qualities of the external adjuncts of the body ever tainted him. He was absolutely untainted. He was immaculate. So upadhistopi tadharmaihi alipta. Tadharmaihi, by their characteristics, aliptaha, untainted. Nothing stuck to him. None of those qualities of the body or the mind ever stuck to him. Upadhistopi tadharmaihi aliptaha. How was he then? Vyoma vasi. Vyoma means akasha. He was just like a space. In the space you may keep some jars of garlic. You may keep some jars of beautiful scent from Paris. But the space is unaffected by all these things. None of the qualities of the scent, none of the qualities of the gutter, none of the qualities of the garlic, none of them will ever influence it. It is free from the wall. So, upadhistopika dharmaihi aliptaha vyomavati. Vati means life. Vyomavati, he is just like a space. The space is infinite. He is also standing in the infinite. He never considers himself that I am a man, I am Sadashiva, no name, no form. He may be walking. His body is walking. As far as he is concerned, he considers himself as an all-pervasive Brahman. He never limits himself at all. He is Sarvagata. And Munihi. What is the Munihi? Munihi is a term in Tamil also, but people are not aware. They are not. Munihi means Mananad Muni Rikshate. The one who is continuously contemplating, ceaselessly, incessantly, contemplating on the Lord, contemplating on the Brahman, contemplating on the self, that I am this, I am the Atman, I am the Atman, I have no body, I have no mind. None of these things can do. I am the infinite. I am the supreme bliss. So the man who is continuously contemplating on the Atman, he is called the Muni. And Maunad Muni Rukshate, there is also another definition. That Muni is one who is always in the eternal silence. Not this silence where you say for 3 hours today I won't talk. And then you go on to... No, this is not Maun at all. This is not Maun at all. You are more active than normal life. All your body speaks. Your mouth no doubt speaks, but all your body speaks now. So it is much worse than college. So Maranat Munihi, Maunat Muni Ruchate, both of them are there. So he is just established in the eternal silence, this Jivan Mukta. Then Sarvavit Mudavati Tishti. He knows everything. There is nothing which is beyond the ken of his knowledge. He is an expert. You ask him any subject, he will talk. How much our Bhagavan came at the age of 14. Did he study yoga? Did he study Kundalini yoga? Absolutely nothing. One day a person had come, some yogi. For 2 days full he was discussing about some Amritanadi and various things which are not known even to a common yogi. I have studied the Patanjali yoga, but I have not come across these. These are taught in very rare books. Some of the very, very rare books, they are mentioned. And Bhagavan was talking with all interest. And there was a lady at the time who was recording the Malu, one Surinagama. She couldn't understand a word of it. What they are talking about is all beyond her head. So for 2 days, she was extremely worried. What sort of sadhaka I am? I know nothing of these things. Unless one knows these things, how can one reach the Lord? It seems very essential. Otherwise, Bhagavan will not be spending 48 hours on these things. Bhagavan knows what is happening in her mind. Suddenly in the evening she called her, hey, these things are not necessary for you. That fellow was discussing, well, I also got into the book and I began to discuss nothing else. Don't bother about that. You need not understand. So, Sarvavitri Mudhavatishte, he knows everything, but in the world he will behave as if he is a dullard, as if he knows nothing, as if he knows nothing absolutely. He will behave as if he is a fool. Sarvavitri Mudhavatishte, Asaktaha Vayuvakshariyate. He is not concerned, today he will be there, tomorrow he will be there, he will always be moving around just like the air. Why does he say he is moving around? Not necessarily that he is going from Tirunelveli to Delhi, Delhi to Assam. No, that doesn't mean that. It means asaktaha. The wind is blowing at all times. It is blowing through the gutter. It is blowing through places of various fragrance. It is blowing through various chemical factories which are having various things. But none of these things, none of these smells ever sticks to the air. The air is moving uncaringly, untainted by all these things. So, asaktaha, he is not attached to anything. He doesn't say, oh, this is my house, how can I leave it? I can't leave it. No, there is no place. He will never know. He will not stay even for a day there. He will think, oh, he will stay here. My own Gurudev, he went to he was having a lot of diarrhea when he was traveling in the Himalayas. So somebody who belonged to the royal lineage, he just saw him in the street, he called him, he kept him in the house. For 3 days he was there and he picked up a little and then he said, Swamiji, you please remain for about 3 months and completely you recover and then you can go. When he was explaining all the necessity why he should stay for 3 days, that very night of telling them, he opened the door, went away himself. they were never knowing where he was. That is it. So, asaktaha vayuvachari, never get attached. Oh, this man is very kind to me. Ramanasram is calling me, thinking so, oh, why not stay in Ramanasram? Said, no. Nothing belongs to you. There is no ashram for you except the feet of the Lord. Yes, that's the only place where you can get attached. And that is not elsewhere, that's here. Be attached to your own Krippadma, the lotus of the heart. Asaktaha vayuvati. Vayuvati, just like the wind, just like the air. Asaktaha, not being attached, never developing any attachment to anything or anywhere. I go from place to place. In a village I find the people are all extremely kind to me. They give me a small ashram. And then every day they say, Swamiji, at your convenience will come. We will have a beautiful satsang. They come to sit me nicely. And they are all prepared to do all things. So nice. And getting good food. Somebody brings me good ghee, cow's ghee. And somebody brings me something else. I am very happy. But the moment you stay there for 4 or 5 days, you are lost. You are coming down the scale. That's why leave it without telling anybody. That is the only way. So, asaktaha vayuvachari. The next one is also important. Afterwards, the rest of the things are all, from 54 onwards, it is a philosophy. Saying that, what is the benefit of this Atma Labha? By attaining this self, what do you get? So now this is important because this is going to tell about a stage beyond the Jivanmukti. What is the stage beyond the Jivanmukti? I have already told you that stage is called the Videha Mukti or the Kaivalya Mukti. Well, it's slightly controversial but many of the people believe, most of the Vedantins believe, that Jivanmukta is not the final stage because according to them, the prarabdha or the reactions of the past birth, the reactions of the past deeds in the past birth, they don't follow. They have to fructify this birth. So, they are like an arrow which has already gone. See what happens? Supposing somebody wants to come and deprive me of all the arrows which I have. Well, they will find some arrows left in my quiver. They can take it and burn it. That is what happens with the jnana. When all the ultimate knowledge comes, we have got 3 types of karmas. The 3 types are, number 1, there is a big reservoir in which all the deeds we have done, good and bad, they are all kept in a basket. The reactions are kept there. As I told you, the reaction is built in the action. If you shoot a gun, the gun comes and then it recoils on your, this thing, it hits you back. You can't say, I don't want to be hit, I only want to shoot. No, it cannot be done. Every action has got a reaction according to the 3rd law of Newton. So you can't help it. So the reaction is already inbuilt in it, it cannot be avoided. So the results of all the reactions are not immediately given. In the case of the gun, it has immediately come. But immediately it hits, every day he will come, it's suicide, you can't bear it. That is why the Lord in His compassion has kept them in a reservoir, and in every birth He allots a little. He allots some of the good deeds. All right, you will get a promotion, you will be born in a rich family, or you will come across a good sage in your life with whom you can spend some time. So like that, the allotment is made. So that limited the quantity of karmas, the reactions which are allotted for your experience in this birth. Certain rewards for the good deeds and certain punishments for the bad deeds done. Not all the bad deeds. Some of them are still kept in the reservoir. That reservoir, that is called Sanchita. Sanchita means accumulated karma. So there is a very big reservoir, it contains all of them. They are yet to be allotted. Out of them, 1 quantum is allotted for 1 birth. So in this birth, the quantum which has been allotted, that is called the prarabdha. That you have to undergo those experiences. You can neither avoid the good experiences which come out of it, nor can you avoid the bad experiences which may cause you pain and agony, miseries and hardships and sufferings. You can't avoid it. Now what happens is, what is this prarabdha? Prarabdha is just like, you have already sent an arrow the arrow is going there. You are shooting it at the top of that tree. So till it reaches there, already it is going in the sky. Can you catch it and stop it? You cannot stop it. So prarabdha is like an arrow which has already left your hand. It has not yet reached the destination. It has to reach the destination. That it has to have its effect. You can't have it. So not even the jnani, not even the jivan muktas are an exception to it. This is one opinion. And this is a major opinion which is normally correct. But then, what is the difference? Then I am also subject to prarabdha, and then Bhagavan also is subject to prarabdha. Then what is the difference between the two? When I get it, I shout, I swoon, I call everybody, send telegrams to everybody, Shankarananda is now on the way to the heavens. If you want to have a last sight of him, please come to your 16. Well, this is what will happen. So, the prarabdha of a jivan mukta, it is not a prarabdha at all. As the Bhagavan has said, the pain will be there but no suffering will be there. The events will happen, the happenings will be there. I may cut myself against your razor. My hand will be half cut and may be hanging, but I won't feel anything about it. I will not shout, I will not immediately take a doctor. So nothing will happen at all. I will feel negatively there. What is the matter like? That is what will happen. Just as I was telling that Sadashiva Brahmananda, when he was going, when the king cut his hand, he never knew. The king was surprised. He took that hand which fell down, that spare part, he took it with him, he ran to him, "Sir, you dropped it." "What you dropped it?" "This fellow cut it off." He said, "I dropped it." He sees his hand and the hand is fully grown and now it is extra hand. So that's what happened. They are not aware at all till it is pointed out. Even then, well, everybody wants to perform such miracles. That's a different issue altogether. So a jivan mukta prarabdha, it affects him only in this manner. You see, only when the prarabdha is there, the body will be there. If the body is not there, who will get a guru? If every guru on the day of enlightenment, if he leaves the body and goes away, then you and I will be having only a lineage of all ignorance. There will be no gurus. Already with such people, enough of the other side is there. And if they are also not there, then all of us will be gone, once for all. So, we say, what is this state? He is called Daddha Pataiva or Dharjita Dijaiva. There is a Shaurya dhoti. It has been set fire completely. It is completely reduced to ashes. But nobody has gone near it. It still looks like a sari. But then it is not a sari. The moment you take it, it will all be reduced to ashes. That is called a Daddha Pata. Just like a cross which has been burnt. Or a little better simile is there, just like a fried grain. So you have got a seed, fried seed. A seed which you want to sow in your land so that the plant will come out of it, a mango will come out of it, a mango tree will come out of it, so you have got some, that mango seed or something like that. What do? You take it in your house, put it in a frying pan and you just fry it dry. Don't put any oil on it. Just like that dry, completely you fry it for 2 hours. Keep it. And then you go and sow it. Will the plant ever come? No. But outside, the fried side seed will normally look like a normal seed. You will never find the difference. It will be outwardly like a seed, but the essence of a seed is lost. This seed cannot once again give birth to any other tree or a plant. It is gone. So just like that, a jivan mukta is just like the fried seed. He looks like a man and all that. He is no more a man. No reaction can ever do anything to him. No prarabdha can ever do anything to him. But till the prarabdha is there, the body will remain with him. So on the day the prarabdha is exhausted, it is over, already all the reservoir has been completely burnt off, so there is no more reservoir. Plus, whatever action is being done in this birth birth for us, that is also put in a small reservoir, which is later on transferred to the big reservoir. So the one which is being done, currently being done, the new actions which you are doing, for which the result is yet to come. See, in this birth we can do some fresh actions. I may steal, or I may go to some saint. So all these actions will have a reaction. They are all put in a smaller reservoir, and that is called either agami or kriyamana. That is, it is an activity whose results are yet to be transferred to the bigger reservoir. So they are still being done. That's why it is called the kriyamana. It is still being done. Or agami. Agami means whose results are yet to come, which are yet to be transferred to the other reservoir. So the karma is of three kinds. One is the big reservoir where the entire, all the good and bad deeds which you have done, they are all kept there for allotment in future births. And that is called sanchita, or the accumulated one. The other one is called the prarabdha, the portion of it has been allotted for this birth. See, 40 lakhs have been allotted for a project of building some 80 houses inside the Ramanashram. I'm sorry, 40 lakhs may be too little like, say 40 crores. Now, you will not give all the 40 crores to the engineer in charge. Come on, you build it. It will take 3 years. It may take 2 years. So for this year, you will say the allotment is only 20 lakhs out of 20 crores. So this allotment of 20 lakhs out of the big one, this is called the prarabdha. This has to be exhausted in this birth. The moment it is exhausted, his body falls. Upadhi vilayat Vishnu nirvishesham vishen unihi jale jalam vyadyomni tejas tejasi bhajatha. Upadhi vilayat. Upadhi means this external adjuncts like the body-mind complex. The body, mind, senses. So when they get dissolved, vilaya means visheshena laya. That is when they get completely dissolved. When will they get dissolved? When does the body get dissolved? When the body falls. When you shake off your mortal coil. When we die. Physically. There is a time when the body dies. So upadhi vilayati. When the body gets dissolved, when the external limiting things which are limiting you, which is limiting the infinite, and they are the mind, the body, and what we may call the psycho-complex. So the senses, all these things together, vilayati, they all fall away. That is on the day when the person shakes off his body, shakes off his mortal coil. Then what happens? Munihi Vishnu Vishi. What happens to that person's soul? Where does it go? It enters into that supreme consciousness which is everywhere. The supreme consciousness, when it is everywhere and of equal intensity, there is no higher potential, there is no lower potential, then the consciousness cannot flow from one to another. Supposing I got a water in the reservoir up, because of its being kept in a height, it has developed a potential. And you keep an empty tank down below, connect them by a tube, then automatically the water will begin to flow from the higher potential to the lower potential. But in this case, the consciousness is everywhere, so they cannot go. So on this there is a beautiful hymn in the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad where they are asking, what happens to the soul of a Jivan Mukta? It doesn't go anywhere. It remains where it is. What happens? Supposing there is a pot, you have dipped it into the Ganges water or the ocean water. So the water is fully in the pot. So you call it the water of the ocean, and this you call it the water of the pot. While you are holding inside the vision, the pot collapses, disintegrates. Then what happens to the water? The water joins the water. And after about 15 minutes, can you take out the pot water separately? No, it has lost its identity. It has become one. It has completely, wholly integrated itself with the entire water. there is no more trace. You cannot identify the hot water separately. The water has gone to the water. So in the same way, the soul of that person, it is where it is absorbed there, and the supreme consciousness is everywhere, it doesn't grow. Naitasya prana utkramanti. This is one of the most famous things. When Shankara Bhagavad Pada wrote a Brahma Sutra Bhashya, the first book on the first and the topmost Bible on the Advaita Vedanta, the one who wrote the sutras for which he gave the commentary, that is the Badarayana or the Vyasa, he wanted to test how far he has interpreted my book properly, because they were all in formulae. Nobody can understand them. They were all called mnemonic aids. For a person who had personally taken tuition, he has only to remember something, so he will keep some catchwords and he will understand. Oh, this is what was told that day. Supposing after the entire class, he wants to remember what is all being told. He will only have one word, the status of a Jivan Mukta. Now he will remember what all he told about the Jivan Mukta. So, the sutra only says the state of a Jivan Mukta, nothing is told. And now pages and pages he writes on the state of a Jivan Mukta. And that is the commentary. So he wants to know how truly he has written it. He comes to you in the form of an ordinary Brahmin to test it. So the first question he asks is, Sir, would you please clarify the meaning of this Naitasya Prana Utkramanti, the Jivan Mukta's the vital breath, it never goes anywhere. His soul doesn't go anywhere. What does it mean? Then Shankara explains how it happens. Jale Jalam. It is just like the pot water which goes back into the ocean water, and you cannot trace it back as to this is the pot water or this was the pot water. No, it is fully gone. Similarly, the various rivers, Yathanadya Sandhamanaha, Namarupe Vihaya, it comes in the Mundaka itself. There are some very beautiful similes there in respect of the Jivan Mukta when he lives his life. What happens to him? He says it's just like there are so many rivers, the Ganges, the Jamuna, the Godavari, so the Tungabhadra. So all these are all going towards the ocean. They go towards the ocean and finally they are mixed up in the ocean. When they are mixed up in the ocean, can you please take out a little of Ganges water separately, a little of Jamuna water separately, or a little of Krishna water separately? No, it's impossible. They have completely identified, integrated themselves, the water into the water. You can't now separate them as which is the water of the ocean and which is the water of the Ganges and which is the water of the other rivers. It's impossible. So in the same way, Vishnu Nirvishesham Vishe. So the Jivan Mukta or the Muni, he enters into the supreme consciousness which is everywhere. Vishnu doesn't mean the God Vishnu. He enters into the Vishnu. Vishnu here means Vishiv Vyaptau, that which is Vyapta, that which is has pervaded everywhere. The supreme consciousness is everywhere. So he enters into the supreme consciousness. Consciousness goes into the consciousness. That's all. So Nirvishesham Vishe, how does he enter into it? The moment he enters into it, there is no characteristic of his which is left. When the Ganges water is somewhat whitish line. The water of the Jamuna is a little blackish line. So, you would have expected when it goes there, there will be a bluish portion, there will be a blackish portion. No, the entire thing becomes one bluish expanse of the ocean water. You cannot find out the white Ganges water, nor can you find out the blackish Jamuna water, Nirvishesham, without any difference, absolutely. Nirvishesham means undifferentiated. You can't differentiate at all between the supreme consciousness and the consciousness which has left the body of the Jivan Mukta. It goes in an undifferentiated manner. So he enters into the supreme consciousness. How is it like? Jale Jalam. Just like the water, when it goes and joins another water, you can't separate the two waters. Jale Jalam. Jale in the water. Jalam Iva. Just like the water inside another water. Say just like the waters of the river going and joining the waters of the ocean. Jale Jalam. We are Vyomni. Just like an empty pot, it is kept here. So this space which is everywhere, it has been artificially divided by the walls of the pot. So you say this is called the Ghatakasha, the pot space. And what about this? We call it the big space, Mahakasha. The Mahakasha and the Ghatakasha, the pot space and the immense, the infinite space. Now, this pot is made up of clay. It just falls down, disintegrates. There is no more pot. Then what happens to the space inside? The space merges, the Ghatakasha merges in the Mahakasha. The pot space, it merges in the infinite space. Now, after a minute, can you separate that original space of space which was in the pot? No. It has lost its identity, it has become one, it has merged. So in that manner, Vyad Vyomni. Vyad means Akasha. Vyoma means Akasha. So Vyomni means in the sky, in the space. So Vyad means the sky or the space. So just like the space, it integrates, it merges in the space. Just like space in the space. Just like water into the water. Then Tejaha Tejasi. There is a big raging fire, there is a conflagration. You take a small fuel which is burning and you put it inside it, and the entire thing is burning. Can you find out which is the flame of the entire thing and which portion is the flame of the fuel which you dropped inside it, the small flame? Not at all. The flame is gone to the bigger flame. It has become one. The small flame and the bigger flame have merged into one. You can't separate them. So, Tejaha Tejasi. Just like the fire in the fire. Tejasi in the fire. Tejaha the fire. A small fire put in a bigger conflagration. Tejaha Tejasi va yatha. Yatha, just like. Just like that, the Jivan Mukta, when once his body goes, he enters into that undifferentiated supreme consciousness. This is called the Mahanirvana in the parlance of the Buddhists. The Buddhists call the first enlightenment only as Nirvana. Nirvana means, yes, he is free from all suffering, he doesn't feel and all that, but still the limiting agent of the body is there. It limits him. But when once the body goes, the distortion of the medium goes away. When once the Jivan Mukta talks, he has to talk to the medium of the body. Whenever any ray goes through any medium of a different density, it does get refracted. It gets distorted, rather. Distorted or diffracted, we can call it in any way. So it can't be the same. It gets deflected. That's what happens. If it is a lighter one, it differs on the other side. If it is of a higher density, it gets different on the other side. So it is very much there. That is why they are unable to completely tell you what has happened, what is the Brahman. Why can't they tell us? When the people have seen and he has become one with him, if they can't describe what they are, then who can describe? Then why can't they describe it? Ramakrishna Paramahamsa says, hey, I would very much like to share all my knowledge. Sometimes I feel like talking to you about what is my state and what are the things I have seen life. But then somebody squeezes my throat at that time. They don't allow me to talk. This is what he says. That's what happens. Now, the 54th, now this is called the Videh Mukti now that we read. And when we say Upadhi, he doesn't mean only the gross body. The subtle body also goes along with it. So long as the prarabdha is there, the prarabdha, it lies concealed in your subtle body, it's not in your gross body. So as such, all the body goes away. When Jivan Mukta dies, then complete dissolution of all the three bodies, the causal body, the subtle body, and the gross body, all of them. Now 54th is a Palashruti. What do you get out of all these Atma-labha? By getting yourself, what all happens? He describes in the most ecstatic terms. Yallabham paro labhaha Yat sukham na param sukham, yad jnanat na param jnanam, tad brahmetyavadhariyet. Now there will be about 5 or 6 slokas which are indirectly giving the benefit of that state, the state of the Jivan Mukta, and at the same time it says, know that this is Brahma. Tat Brahma iti avadhariyet. He is giving some characteristics. He says, that is called Brahman, that is called the Supreme Being, that is called the Supreme Consciousness. So, the next one, they all come, Tad Brahmetyavadhariyet avadhariyet. Avadhariyet means understand, know ye, know that that is the Supreme Being, not whatever you conceive of, they are not the Supreme Beings. That Supreme Consciousness, that is, what sort of Supreme Consciousness is that? Here he says, Yalla bhana paro labhaha. Once you attain that state, you will never more be tempted or fascinated by any alluring object in this world. All of them will look insipid, tasteless. You would never like to look at them. Honestly, it is told, the Jnani would feel like vomiting when he sees these objects and when he sees people going after them. Only thing is, he doesn't have that mood. But if you were to have even a little of our human feelings, then you would have vomited. That's what they say. Yal labhate nabaro labha. When once she attains it, there is no more attainment, there is no accomplishment which is left, there is no more fulfillment which is left. It is the highest fulfillment. There is nothing more to be attained. Labha means that which you attain, that which you get. So, yal labhate, as compared to which attainment, aparaha labhaha na, there is no more superior attainment to be thought of, to be achieved. This is the highest. This is the ultimate destination. Yat sukhat na aparam sukha. The bliss that you get out of it is so absolute, there is nothing more superior, nothing better than that. So there is no other bliss. Then at that stage, you go to the best of the music concerts. You see the best of the most beautiful ladies of the world. Nothing will ever cause the least ripple in your mind. That would be the state. Because yat sukha naparam sukha. This is the highest bliss. There is no bliss which is superior to it. Yat jnanate naparam jnanam. This is the highest knowledge. There is no other knowledge which is to be known. The Upanishad says, Yena jnatena sarvavidam jnatam bhavati. By knowing which all things are known. There is nothing which is left which is hidden from your knowledge. That is the state. Yes, it has got a different meaning also, but this meaning also is there. It has got a different philosophical meaning to say that by knowing which all things can be known. It is just like that. When a man sees different ornaments made of gold, he knows that it is all gold. So there is nothing left to be known. Tomorrow if some new ornament comes made of gold also, he does not know what is the name of the ornament. He knows it is gold. What is the name? You call it the earring, you call it the bracelet, you call it the anklet, you call it the kankana, you call it the bangle. It is all one and the same. It is all gold, the gold. That's all. So that is one meaning. By knowing which you know all. But it has also got the other connotation that by knowing that there is nothing more left in this world to be known. Yat jnanati. As compared to which knowledge, this superior knowledge or this supreme consciousness, na aparam jnanam. There is no more superior consciousness, there is no more superior knowledge to be learnt. This is the ultimate. And that attainment, that bliss, and that knowledge, that is the Brahman. That is the Supreme Being. That is the ultimate destination. That's your goal. Tad Brahmetyavadhariyet. Know that that is the one to be reached. The next one we will just read. The next one is, we will just read, we will just stop. Yadrishtva na param drishyam, yadbhutva na punarbhavaha, Yadyatva naparam gyeyam tad brahmetyavadharye. When once you have seen that highest goal, see, seeing means realizing, to be one with it. So when once you have realized that supreme bliss personally, see, it's an experience. It can never be told. It's not something which can be conveyed on a plate. No jnani can pass it on a platter to somebody else. It has to be experienced by each. So, that is, when once a person has seen this, he wouldn't like to look at anything else in the world. There is no other thing which is going to tempt him any longer. There is nothing which is more superior than that. Diksha means the sceneries, that is that which is to be seen, all the worldly objects. There is no worldly object which will ever tempt you when once you have seen him. Yad gatva na punarbhavaha. When once you have reached that stage, when once you have merged with that Brahman, when once you have become a Jivan Mukta, then no more birth and death. Punarbhavaha means a repeated birth. Punaha means again. Bhavaha means birth. Punarbhavaha means the repeated cycle of birth and death. Yad gatva, by going where? By reaching which place, you will no more returns. You can't wish him very many returns. That's all. Once are all gone. Yad jnatva, I'm sorry. Yad jnatva naparam gyeyam. It's again the repetition of what I told earlier, that there is no knowledge superior to it. So yad jnatva, when once you have understood it as this is myself, then na aparam gyeyam. There is nothing else which requires to be known. Everything is the self. There is nothing which is apart from yourself. The entire world is only a projection of yourself. No doubt, a projection of an illusion life. It's a projection of delusion rather, not an illusion. It's a projection of delusion, that's all. It looks like, but it's all Brahman, it's all Atma, it's all the self, and nothing but the self. Tad brahmetyavadharye. No, that is what is called the Brahman. That is the supreme being. This is possible.